Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Today we're going to do a Divine Masculine check-in. So we'll be looking at what's going on with them energetically, what's going on in their karmic life in 3D space, and also what is coming up in the future. So first there will be a run through of what is currently happening and then what is coming up for them in the nearest future. I will also pull some oracle cards with messages from Divine Masculines to Divine Feminines watching. I will start, as always, with an oracle card for each of the twins, for masculines and feminines alike, because I know that both are watching right now. So let's do that. I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are already getting into the Christmas mood. It's December time now. I will be posting my December horoscope readings on my other channel, Mindful Bamboo, today and tomorrow. Hopefully I'll manage to get all of them done in 2 days. This has been an absolutely crazy week, especially since it's right after the Thanksgiving weekend. So yeah, just, it's one of those where you're getting through the week and sometimes it's okay, it's like, yeah, I'll do my best. So I'll start with a card for Divine Feminines watching, and then we'll switch to Divine Masculines. I do have another new deck today. What is it called? It's called Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. I loved it because of the artwork, also because of its travel size. So both of my decks will be travel size today, because that means that I will definitely take it with me to Hawaii. I will not be taking all of my decks. It's just too much space and it's gonna be too heavy. But I will take a few, and this will be one of them. So I decided that's a decent investment. So I'm excited. This will be my first reading with this deck. So you will be experiencing for the first time with me. Whew. Yes, and Divine Feminines have say yes to your open door. Yeah, when you get that opportunity. So as much as I started talking about the busy time, right, and a lot of us being overwhelmed or in a rush to get lots of things settled on, planned, decided, but do not let that rush and that hustle and that noise distract you or how do I put it? Kind of deny yourself the opportunity to follow up on this, to follow through with this opportunity that is being presented, right? Do not say, oh, you know what, I'm just so busy these days, I'm gonna do it maybe next year or like some other day. Someday I'm gonna do it, right? That's not the time. Whatever is being presented to you, that's put right in front of you, is there for a reason. You're supposed to take it. It's super important. So, yep, just a note to somebody. What do we have for Divine Masculines watching? Ooh, 2 cards. Nice. Okay. Number 6. Bloom where you're planted. So that means that your environment is actually perfect for you to achieve your goals, for you to fulfill your destiny, so to speak. It doesn't mean that you'll be there forever and ever, but it means that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And sometimes people are looking for like, okay, a more trendy location or like joining some fancy country club or whatever. I'm making very specific examples just to give you a taste of it, like what I'm talking about. Of course, it can be very different, like kind of like, am I part of this elite group of people or not, or do I make this much money? And if I do that, if I had that amount of money, then I'll be able to do X, Y, Z, right? Like, this is all of it. This is like, you're exactly in the point of time and space where you're supposed to be to achieve your goals. So you're supposed to bloom there, right? And as Twin Flames, it's almost in our DNA that we can bloom wherever we are planted. The other one is number 20. Out of the mess comes elegant order. Yes, and another skill of Twin Flames is to bring order to chaos, right? It's almost like our natural ability, because when we are in high vibrational energy, high frequency energy, that space around us, that chaos starts transforming into something more orderly. But of course, we also know that that state of chaos is how things are changing, right? You're kind of like supposed to get things moving, to get them into that dynamic space where there's some kind of a chaos. If you imagine molecules for a moment, like within some sort of substance, right? For example, or matter, and then they can be restructured into something else, right? When it's more fluid, when it's more susceptible to change. So the chaos is there for a reason. But if in the masculines, and a lot of masculines are going through that chaotic space, I've been talking about, I think this is the third reading where we can see that come up. But again, it's there not to overwhelm, not to bring anxiety, but it's a transitional space that brings change, brings something new in. And B, the masculines are supposed to kind of work through it to make the most out of it. And maybe even teach other people on how to, to make order out of that incredible mess, right? Because that's what we do. And a lot of people don't know how to do it. They just give up at some point, like, I'm out of here, right? When things get difficult. Okay, so let's start with seeing. So I'm gonna pull 9 cards. The first 3 will be the energetic space of divine masculine, what's going on right now. The second will be 3D space, what's going on in the karmic life, and the third one will be what's coming. Actually, coming up, I'm gonna pull from this deck. Yeah, that's what I'm guided to do. So I'll use the new deck for the present and the Light Seers deck for the future. Okay, so for energetic space, we have, let me just pull this a little bit closer. We have Ace of Swords. That's good. We have Page of Wands and King of Wands. All right. For the karmic life, we have Ace of Cups, 7 of Wands, and 6 of Swords. This is also this transformation where the love, the kindness, the divine guidance is helping divine masculines kind of move through that chaos towards calmness, right? But it's beautiful because it's happening in 3D space. I'm going to talk about it a bit more in a moment. And yeah, and sorry, for the future, we have the bottom of the deck is the Fool. Remember yesterday I spoke a lot about trust, and both twins needed that. That's it. That's the one. Trust is still needed. Like when you are in a chaotic or like some sort of stressful situation, it's harder than ever to keep that faith. Like it's easy to have faith when everything's going great in your life, right? But it's a lot harder when things are falling apart and you're not sure why. You don't see those connections, right? And you're not sure what's coming up, what are you supposed to do. There are all kinds of responsibilities, all kinds of pressure from around you, right? Like that's when it's the hardest to have that faith that you are being divinely guided, that the divine has your best interest in mind and all of those things. But it's needed more than ever. So what's coming up in the future for divine masculines? What can we know about what's coming up in the nearest future? We have Justice. We have Queen of Cups, Queen to Divine Feminines. And we have 6 of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful. And I actually love that we have feminine figures in all of these cards. It's just a double confirmation that that balance is reached when there is a balance between, or a harmony between masculine and feminine energy. And because the stress and anxiety is pushing divine masculines more into their masculine energy, right? It like toughens them up, like when your muscles get pressure, you put a lot of weight on them, like they get tenser, like they get oof, right? It's that kind of vibe. And it's like, okay, and we have 7 of Wands here, like, yeah, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna defend myself, right? Like that very masculine vision on all of this, right? But in order to come out of this with a success and with growth, it needs to be balanced out with the feminine energy, where you are in reciprocity, where you can use your intuition, where you can show compassion and kindness to yourself and to others involved. So at the moment, what I'm seeing is divine masculine is trying to energetically define that clear path, like authentic path, truthful path between how do I say it? Because between what they know and what they're supposed to know, or between where they are energetically and where they're supposed to be. And it has to do with their aspirations and with their dreams. Because it's kind of like when you have small dreams, so you're downplaying what you're able to achieve in life, right? And that also has to do with lack of faith, if you ask me, right? It's like energetically they're trying to work through the blocks that are preventing them from seeing the true picture of how potent they are, how powerful they are, that they're actually a king, they're not a page, right? So they are still being in this page energy, trying to kind of look cool and strong, but they're not really feeling it. They're not really believing in it, right? Like, well, I mean, I guess you can understand how when things are falling apart around and you're not reaching success where you think you should have reached success by now, then it's harder and harder every, like, with experience, with years to come, it's harder and harder to believe that it's actually going to happen just because you deserve it, you know, not because you've been putting 20,000 hours into it of your life and you exhausted yourself, right? Like, that's not the recipe. But they are still struggling to see the difference, to feel the difference, right? Like, to understand this part of fabric of life, the way my biomechanics coach likes to call it, right? What is this all about? That's the energetic work that divine masculines are doing. For the karmic space, yeah, there is some struggle, like I was saying, and 7 of Wands is the card where they feel like they're by themselves against the world, right? Trying to have that honorable fight and to show everybody that they, you know, they can make it, and that the you know, the good will fight or will conquer or will overcome or will, what is it called? Like, the good will stand as a champion, right? As opposed to evil or shadow, right? But the truth is, they're not, at this point, they're not even looking for some specific trophies, but they're looking for this peace of mind, for this calm, for having stability and knowing what is coming up for them. And look, in this deck, it's even actually just themselves. Like, in a lot of decks, the 6 of Swords is taking the family across to a calmer space, right? There's a man is like rowing, and there is a woman with a baby a lot of times with some like possessions, like some treasure chest or something, like, and they are moving, all of them, like the masculine figure is moving them along to the to a safer space, right? In this deck, it's actually this person by themselves, in this case divine masculine, right, rowing and taking all their thoughts, all their like knowledge, right, logical knowledge with them. That's their true treasure in this case, and they're trying to save themselves. Like, imagine how that's again this feeling of loneliness, like it's me against the world. You can't even feel like, okay, this is my tribe, right? Like my family and friends, for example, right? Like the closest people to me, we are together against like all the darkness in this world, and that's easier to deal with, at least with your mind, and they're definitely approaching it with their mind. But when you feel like it's just you against everybody else, because everyone has got their nonsense and they're trying to kind of poke you with it, right? And challenge you or get you in a more stressful place that you are, then it's like, maybe some indirectly, right? Like some people may be freaking out about buying decent presents for Christmas or traveling to those they love who are far away, right? And they know that there's an expectation that they will be together during holidays, but there are also other challenges in their life, you know, like reconciling all of those things, but it's still feeling that pressure. Like, even if it's somebody I want to be with, right, you can still feel the pressure of expectations that that person has. And clearly, at least the way they see it, is that everybody has so many expectations of them. And they're doing their best to fill up their cup so that they don't run out, so they can still approach it in an enthusiastic way, right? Not like not bitter, not like a martyr, but, you know, with good spirits. That's the good news. And finally, we have Justice, Queen of Cups, and Six of Wands. So balance is on the way. This is the future, right? As soon as that feminine energy comes in and there is that harmony, but it cannot happen without Divine Masculine's consignment to that, you know, agreement about it. It cannot just automatically happen. Either they have to give up pushing through with the masculine energy only, or the more positive outcome is when they do involve their intuition, their compassion, and going with the flow kind of vibe, right? Because naturally things are gonna get better. They're gonna get through this turbulent time. Things will rebalance. The connection with Divine Feminine will get re-established or even enhanced as opposed to what it's been. Because when the feminine is presented as a Queen of Cups, that means that both, and it means that the masculine sees them that way, right? It means they're both integrated energies, right? That means that they can co-create in that space of love and high vibration. And last but not least, there will be some successes in 3D space, those things that they are looking for, where they will get their spotlight and they will be able to say what they have to say to the world and share what they have to share, right? The Six of Wands is like being in a public eye and sort of like celebrating with the world. But it's not even that much about like it's me, I've done this. It's like, yeah, let's celebrate all of us, right? We won this battle, or we as people, as family, as a group achieved this and this, right? It was a team effort, that kind of vibe. That's what I'm feeling here. Okay, last but not least, let's get to messages from Divine Masculines to Divine Feminines. What would they like to tell us right now? No. That's a little bit too extreme. Okay, I was almost gonna say maybe there's just one message today, and then they started coming. I really do want us to work out. Children and family issues are a factor, and they understand that for a lot of these problems, they've created them themselves. That's part of that feeling lonely now, because they know that they are responsible. They need to take responsibility and to solve it themselves. Being with you reminds me of home. Beautiful. And they definitely want to come home. Okay, I hope this has been useful for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Bye, everyone.